Most agents don't fail because they're bad agents. A lot of times they fail because they're in the wrong environment. Today, Dwayne Ruffin and I, who's part of the Vargas team with River City Elite Properties and Real Brokerage, are going to be breaking down the three pathways inside our organization. We get a lot of questions concerning this. So we have Real Broker, River City Elite Properties, and then we also have teams within that, including the Vargas team. We're going to help you choose which one of your goals and which one of in your current situation, which one aligns the best. This is a video that I wish existed a long time ago, especially with the evolution of brokerages, independent brokerages, different teams, and everything that comes from cloud base. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everyone. So I'm Steve Vargas, Director of Agent Growth and Success here at River City Elite Properties, powered by Real Broker. I'm also the team leader of the Vargas team.
And I'm Dwayne Ruffin, an agent with the Vargas Team LLC, which is one of the teams within River City Elite. Today, we're going to explain these three options so you can figure out what path aligns with your goals.
I love that. I love that. And that's interesting, Dwayne. Like we're in a situation, that sounds bad. We're in a blessing of a situation, that's better, that we have kind of three options, right? So we can kind of break it down in a simple, easy way, because as you know, every agent they're at different stages in their career, right? Some of the agents are kind of like new, that great, hey, I need to learn as much as I can on a team type of thing, where they're like, I don't even understand real estate. What is lead generating? You have those newer agents. Some of them are, we can call them a dependent model, right? Some of them are independent, where they understand the business, but maybe they don't have the business mindset. They maybe are just self-employed. If we go to Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then we have our interdependent, like these. I'm going to create a brokerage or a massive team. So what the awesome thing is, we have those different options. So let's talk about it. And I'm excited to really talk about it. So the different pathways, right? And the good thing to remember is each pathway is kind of broken down to, what is important to each agent, right? So let's talk about the foundation in Real Broker, right? That is like the big brother, big sister of where we are at. So Dwayne, can you break down a little bit about Real Broker?
Yeah, so with Real, every agent in our ecosystem, including us, we get the full Real package, which includes things like the 85-15 split, the $12,000 cap. We have stock rewards, revenue share. We get national collaborations. We have modern updated systems, no desk fees, no franchise fees. We also have a great thing called Leo AI broker support, which 24/7 support, and we even get discounts on CRMs like Lofty.
You know what's crazy, Dwayne? I remember when I was part of another cloud brokerage for a couple of years, and I remember when I was like, man, if I can take the good things with that cloud brokerage at the time, to me there was some negatives that were really big in terms of values and kind of a cultural thing. Um, and I was like, man, I wish I could create something like that, right? That has your own culture, but still with the technology base. And it is interesting that how fast it has grown. Like, Real it's one of the fastest growing. They do things different. They really are big in community. Like you're in the Real military, right? I mean, that's not like a branch. I'm saying you're in Real military, right? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's just a kind of a niche within Real that focus on military, military locations. So that's a big part of that. And next we have the River City Elite Properties, which branches off to RCE.
Yeah, and I love that segue. One of the things too that's interesting with River City Elite Properties is, like, our principal broker, Susan Steins. it was top 15 in the nation, independent brokerage. I'm not saying teams. I'm not saying where teams are generating a lot of the leads. Independent brokers where she's teaching, coaching, motivating, empowering agents to lead generate. So they were ranked 15. So that's just out of the whole country of independent brokerages. And one of the things she said was, as much as I love what I do, it's not enough for the agents that she has and she supports moving forward, right? Because the big thing is the cloud-based, like it's the future, right? So let's talk about, River City Elite properties in the sense of what it kind of offers in addition to what Real has.
Well, I guess we can start with there are three different cap options. So one of them is the $4,000 cap, then you have the $6,000 cap, then you have the $12,000 cap. So there's flexibility based on where you are in your business. So I think that's one of the great things about it is, it's based off where you are in your business. It's not for everybody at every level.
And I love that. And here's the thing that's interesting is because we're considered a pro team, right? So, and I guess we should have talked about it. So River City Elite Properties, it was an independent brokerage that has partnered with Real Brokerage as a private label team. Essentially, they're still River City Elite Properties. We're branded as River City Elite Properties. You can see in my shirt, we have our own culture in the sense of we create our own culture like a brokerage, a team, but we also get the value of Real, the tech, everything you name, right? But what we do is we kind of step it up a little bit, right? It's not a full-blown team structure, but we do have that sense of community. We do have the accountability. We have one-on-one coaching every week. We have huddles. We have mindset Mondays and role play Mondays. We have group coaching Thursdays. We have leadership opportunities. We have leadership within. We have our masterminds, the awesome culture we have. Right? We're all very similar in terms of how we think, what our business, what our life should be, our life by design is. And this is not bad, but sometimes people when they're cloud-based, it can feel lonely. You can feel lost, right? And I'm not saying all the time, but we do need human interactions. We're in real estate. This is part of it. So we have strong local support from a local, and I'm not saying local like you have to be there, but there's locality. There's, hot spots of where we can grow River City Elite culture like all over the place.
Yeah. For sure, I completely agree, and because of that, the extra support it provides, small override that helps us support, leadership. We have events, resources. So yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so if you have an agent like we were talking about, that's looking for a little bit more than just the real great value itself, maybe they're looking for a little bit more push accountability. River City Elite is where it's at, right? It is one of those where you have to reinvest in yourself so we can invest back, right? So I love that. I love that. So now we got the next kind of level of support, right? We have kind of the team structure within River City Elite Properties that's within Real Brokerage, right? So tell me a little bit about that team structure, especially you know that you're on the Vargas team itself.
Yeah. So you have teams, including ours. It gives you a whole range of benefits. Obviously you get all the benefits with the Real, you get all the benefits with River City Elite. But you also get mentorship within your smaller team, personalized coaching. You have lead gen systems. You have the daily structure, scripts, dialogues. Always have somebody there to keep you accountable. You have your team SOPs and workflows, mindset and business development, which is one of my best things, kind of to get on with the team and talk about your mindset or how to hit the morning running or how to get you pumped for the day or for the week. And you get a full-blown production blueprint. Really, I believe that's the other things that come along with River City Elite and Real.
Yeah, and I love that. And every team, we know every team is different, right? So Vargas team does things different than the 𝙭team, than the 𝙭group. So every team does different, but depending on what type of agent you are, right? Do you love the support? You love that, I want to grow within a team that's essentially within another team. I love being able to be more one-on-one, hands-on. I think we all talk every day, probably at least multiple times a day. If it's business, it's just checking up on each other. And some agents like that. Some agents don't care for that, and that's okay. It's okay, right? And you were a solo agent before. You can kind of speak to a little bit about the pros with, being on the team versus being a solo. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. I think, being solo, one, again, it's great if that's your goal, if you just want to kind of get that experience on your own, which again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's the level of your business that you're at. But for me, I felt I needed the support, I needed an extra push, I needed the scripting, I needed those intimate, phone calls that we have when there's 2 and 3 people talking about the goals they want to achieve and what it is we can get there. So yeah, I mean, if your goal is to just be a independent agent, which there's nothing wrong with that, and you feel like you can take on all those things, that's absolutely great. But then you have people like me that they feel they need that support and have somebody else back them and push them and always have somebody for questions. So yeah, I think it was a great opportunity that I had received.
I love that. And just like you mentioned with River City, and I will say this, and I'm not saying like every place, whether you're a team leader or a team itself, you're a brokerage, there's always value, or in the absence of value, there's splits, right? So Real has its value and Real has its splits. River City Elite Properties has its value and they have a split. And a team will have their value and they will have the split. And sometimes, and I'll tell you from, doing this and having agents on the team, sometimes the value does not override or does not supersede the split for some agents. And they're, and even though they're getting a lot of great help and value, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And that's fine. Let's then continue to help you grow a team, right? Where sometimes agents like, I want this value, and you can still grow within our team, right? So I love that. And now let's talk about a little bit like, how should someone kind of invest? Like, I'm sorry, well, invest in themselves in which one should they invest in the sense of, Real, River City, and like a team in River City? More so, what are your thoughts on like, like I'll say it like this. If someone, like, and you said it, if someone wants that independence, like Independence Day, Will Smith, if someone wants, they're more independent, they really don't feel like they need as much coaching, I think everyone needs coaching.
Yeah.
But maybe their goal is not, 50 deals a year, maybe not 50 deals a month. They are kind of like, okay with, I'm good. I value Real brokerage. I'm getting, stocks. I'm getting revenue share. I'm good at where I'm at. I really don't want to go to the next level. Or maybe they have research on themselves, right, to go on the next level. Like maybe they're paying coaching outside. And so I would say a person is that fits that model would be a good person just for Real brokerage, right? And I'm not saying, let me rephrase that. There are people that are growing massive teams in Real brokerage as well.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying, but when we're talking about the 3 things that we have, that
Right.
we provide specifically, then yes, if someone is more, I want to do this, myself, I already have that blueprint. I just want to take, the value of Real itself is still high.
Yes, yeah. Then Real broke. If you want that independence, but kind of have it your structure and your plan already, Real broker is definitely the answer.
Yeah. What are your thoughts then on like River City Elite Properties? What kind of agents should be looking at that?
I would say if you want more of like more of a community feel, kind of have that leadership, the support, and again the flexible caps. I think that will definitely put you under River City Elite, by the that close-knit community. And then we have all the support that you get with Real, but then it breaks down to more of a close-knit community.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think that River City, it is that next. Look, I'll tell you, coaching itself could be 1,000 to 10,000 a month, right? Now, we're not saying that we have $10,000 a month coaching, but what we are saying is that we have the opportunity to help you get to the next level, and we have agents that have proven it. Like we see progression, we see things going in that right direction with some of the agents on our team in River City, right? Solo or their team. And that's where that value is. And as long as an agent sees that value, then it makes sense. If they're not benefit, and here's the other thing, sometimes that value is there, but an agent cannot invest or they don't want to invest. Well, then it doesn't make sense. That split doesn't make sense, right? So I love that. I love that. And when you get into like a team structure within River City, kind of like the Vargas team, the 𝙤𝙤𝙪 group, things like that, it's really more hands-on. It's really depending on that team leader, but there's a certain number of contacts you want to reach. There's a certain amount of deals you need to do, consultations, things like that. But I will tell you, if you have that goal, it aligns very well, right? There's a lot of communication expectation, right? So I love that. I love that. Tell me more, Dwayne. Tell me more.
Yeah, man, I think one of the beautiful things about it too is if you're kind of in your business or life change, you can kind of maneuver between the two. You know, you can kind of go between both the options as your life and your business either upscales or you trying to dial it back some.
That is 1,000%. That's what it said at the beginning. We're in the rare position we can help grow a huge team like River City. I mean, we were number one in large groups last year. Like literally, out of all real brokerage, there's about 30,000 agents, and there's mega teams out there. We were number one, about 160, maybe 190 in volume million. So you're right. If someone has a goal to say, you know what, I'm on a team, I'm ready to go to the next level. Depending if that agent, if that team leader, if they have that growth, sometimes they don't. Some like our team, we have the growth opportunity to create another, mini team inside of a team. But yeah, you're right. They can be in River City and grow their own team, right? Or they can say, you know what, I'm going to take a step back. Maybe I'm just going to do a couple of deals, or maybe I want to grow my own through real, right? So I love that. I love that. So here's the biggest question, right? If an agent, anyone out there, or maybe an agent knows of someone else that's kind of needing help to decide between, one, if does real make sense? Does River City Elite Properties make sense? Or maybe a team within River City Elite Properties? Let us know. Send us a DM, a comment below, click on the description, right? Anything else you want to add? Some final thoughts, Dwayne?
I would just say, at the end of the day, the first step is just to start. If you thinking about getting into real estate, if you have a friend or a family member that's thinking about getting into real estate, first just ask yourself what your goals are. From there, you kind of break it down into smaller steps. And one of the big things we learned on our team is setting a high goal and then working backwards, breaking it down into smaller steps.
I love that. I love that. I appreciate it. Well, thanks, Dwayne, for joining me on this one. This was good.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And everyone else, stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah.